off by the new Toyota Tundra because of this. Literally. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive FST. And there is something about the new redesigned Toyota Tundra, the 2022 Toyota Tundra, that has turned me off. You know, I can't believe Toyota is doing this. This is the scourge of the new automobile and truck industry, in my opinion. I have it in my Jeep Gladiator. My wife has it in her Jeep Wrangler. And it's horrible. And what I'm talking about is the dreaded auto stop. Now, if you're not familiar with it, and I don't know how you couldn't be if you have a relatively new vehicle, it's that feature that is supposed to save gas. What it is, you pull up to a stoplight, a stop sign, or you just stop somewhere, and almost instantaneously, your truck shuts off. Now, that is a bummer. I cannot stand that. I want to be able to go when I want to go without any hesitation whatsoever. Not to mention the extra wear and tear that it has to put on the engine, on the starter, on other systems in the truck. I think it's absurd. I think it is probably the number one worst innovation that auto manufacturers have come out with in recent times. You know, I don't have it in either my Tacoma or my 2021, what I'm terming is the last of the great years of Tundras. I don't have it in either one, and I'm thankful for that. You know, it caused problems in my Jeep Gladiator, my first Jeep Gladiator, because it has an auxiliary battery. Now, I'm not sure if Toyota's doing the same thing, but I would imagine so. So if they do, now you're going to have more maintenance. And even if they don't, that's going to put extra wear on the battery as well. So not only are you compromising, in my opinion, the starter, the engine, other systems, the battery, you're going to have probably a shorter lifespan with the battery. Now, like I said, I can't believe Toyota is doing this. They have resisted for quite some time, but I'm sure it's due to government fuel economy regulations, because some pencil pusher out there decided that if the truck shuts off every now and then, it's going to burn less gas. Yeah, but what about the wear and tear on everything else? And does it really work? I don't know that I've ever seen any in-depth studies for real Toyota Tundra drivers that show that it actually does what it's supposed to do, that it really is going to reduce fuel economy. Now, there are some instances where it doesn't kick in. If you've got the air conditioning running, it won't turn off, because obviously without the truck running, it can't run the air conditioner. If there's a malfunction, which of course I've already had in one of my Jeep Gladiators, it doesn't work. And secondly, there is a sweet spot. And a lot of people are discovering this now to defeat it without having to push the button. We'll get to that button in just a minute. But that sweet spot is where you pull up and you stop, and just before the truck shuts off, you kind of ease up on the brake a little bit. Then the system won't kick in and it won't shut off. Now, I wonder how many rear-ending accidents there have been from people trying to feather the brake pedal to alleviate that from happening. You know it has to have occurred. I'd be shocked if it hasn't. Now, this button I'm talking about. Of course, there is typically a button, although I look for that to go away eventually, and you won't have any choice. You'll have the system and it'll work whether you want it to or not. But there is a button you can push every time you get in the truck, once you restart it, to turn off the auto stop system. I don't know. It sounds like, well, that should be so simple. But why should I have to do that? You see, I'd prefer it was the other way around. You know, couldn't you put this feature in the truck, and then if you wanted to utilize it, you'd hit the button to activate it? Why wouldn't they set it up that way? Well, they don't, because we're treated like children. They try to jam it down our throats, still give us a little bit of an option that they know most people aren't going to want to screw with in the form of pushing that button. You know, there's been one vehicle that had it, and if everyone had it the same as this vehicle, I wouldn't have as big of a problem with it, and that was a Porsche. A Porsche, at least the one I had a button that you could push one time, and it would permanently disable it until you reactivated it. You know, like an adult might do, you know, giving us the choice. That way, I'm assuming they could still meet the federal guidelines, but utilize a driver selected feature to eliminate it if you wanted to do it. And I don't know why everybody doesn't do that. It seems so simple to me. Why wouldn't you just have a button that you could engage that the system would remember when you turn the truck off, that you would have to push again if you wanted to run that system? I think in that case, it would be perfectly fine. I would have no issue with it because, of course, you might be able to tell, I would hit that button one time and never have it go on again. Now, there is an aftermarket solution. It's too bad that there have to be aftermarket solutions created for things that we don't want to begin with, but there is an aftermarket solution to eliminate it. You can install this thing in between a couple of points in the truck. It's a plug and play, and it will eliminate that feature, supposedly. I've tried a couple of those before, and I had issues. Issues in the form of lights that would pop up on my gauge cluster. You see, I don't want lights either because I'm kind of old school. You know, when a light pops up, to me that means there's a problem. I don't want to be staring at my brand new 40, 50, 60, who knows, $1,000 truck and have to stare at an icon on a screen telling me something's wrong. And that icon, of course, is something to tell you that the auto stop is not working. So even if you go with one of these auto stop elimination type devices, you're still going to have something that you have to look at. Now, if you can ignore that, then that's fine. But speaking of ignoring it, and I know I'm not alone, have you ever seen stories or heard of the people that put a little piece of electrical tape over the check engine light on their gauge cluster? Maybe you're one of the ones that have done that. So apparently it's predominant enough that people go to extra lengths just to cover things like that up. So I know I'm not alone in not wanting to see that little light on the screen. Anyway, this is what is really turning me off, if I'm being honest, about the new Toyota Tundra. I don't want this feature. I've got two trucks that don't have it, and it's making me rethink, along with the smaller engine, probably less power, a different tune so that it's not going to give me that off-the-line acceleration that I want. I don't know. I don't know if I can buy a truck that has that feature in it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you care anything about the auto stop system? Do you just have it? Don't mind pushing the button? It's okay with you? Or do you despise it like I do? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have two additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 auto stopless Toyota Tacoma. And Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.